Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Token Podcast. I'm your host and sometimes referee, the friendly neighborhood, Zach Stat Pearson. And today, I'm joined by he whose materia knows no bound, but that damage cap dudo, a one officer 9001.
Real pity about that damage cap. If only I could exceed 9999. How you doing?
Genji gloves. They take a long ass time to get, but you can. And I'm joined by Aerith fangirl extraordinaire Honeybee. Moving on. Alright, so for this one.
She's perfect. Her and Tifa are lesbians. You didn't have to ask.
Some things are just implied, I suppose.
No, listen, when they go out together and hang out, it's called a date in the game. They were dating. They're girlfriends, Your Honor. I rest my case.
Hanging out with your friends is hanging out with your friends. And also,
the game called it a date. The game called it a date.
And you know what else the game did? The game said that Tifa had nothing with getting tongue boxed by Cloud on the Ferris wheel. So fuck you. Moving on.
Okay.
Well then.
As if you couldn't tell by the title. That's right. I made sure I got that date eventually. As if you couldn't tell by the title of this video, or I guess podcast, wherever you're listening to this, we will exclusively pretty much be talking about Rebirth. Or just Final Fantasy VII as a franchise / Rebirth, primarily Rebirth, however you want to look at it. I'm not cutting, hairs over it. So, just to make sure people understand I'm not playing favorites, the reason why Honeybee will be going first about all this shit isn't because they're going to take the most talking time, unless Aerith is involved in some way, but because, unfortunately, they had to skip out on, I want to say 7 videos previously. So I said, okay, well, I wanted to do this the week after the game was out, but yeah, I wanted to do this the week after the game came out, but you know what, fuck it. I'll wait for you because it's been a very, very long time since I've been able to mercilessly insult Aerith and have someone not be able to defend her. So might as well be you. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to ask you is, what were the things or key elements different from Remake that you enjoyed and liked in Rebirth? Doesn't matter if it's gameplay, doesn't matter if it's graphics, what?
Well, I mean, okay, first of all, I loved, the team-up attacks. Those were so fun. I really enjoyed the gameplay. It was very fluid. It felt great. And it was fun. I found myself going out of my way to fight things that I didn't have to. Just because it was genuinely a good time. The character interactions, absolute perfection. Everyone had their standout moments. There's a time where every single character had the spotlight where they were the center of attention. They were the queen bee. They had their main character moment. And that is so hard to do when you have a huge cast of characters. So they did a wonderful, wonderful job. Again, I feel like Tifa and Aerith, especially their friendship, really stood out to me. Also, good interactions between, I would consider them minor characters because I never used... Don't be mad at me. I never used Yuffie or Katesith in the original. I just
didn't use Yuffie?
I didn't really like her. I thought she was really irritating.
Yuffie was one of the best characters.
No. Don't worry. We're only half mad at you. We still don't give a shit about Catchy.
I actually loved him in this.
Fuck you. Now I'm mad.
I actually loved him. I loved him in this. I thought he was wonderful. He was entertaining, he was fun, and he was actually kind of fun to play. Shockingly, Yuffie was also fun to play. Everyone was fun to play. God damn it, even the characters honestly, I'm not super fond of.
Yuffie ended up being like one of the most like versatile characters you have.
Right. That actually really surprised me because again, I had no use for her in the original.
Yeah, in the original,
my
she was
go-to.
kind of flat.
I did play the spin-off with Yuffie. I did. And I didn't care for it. I thought it was boring as shit. But
God,
again, that's just because
you
I don't
really
like
do
her.
hate her. Oh my god.
I think she's irritating, and I always thought she was irritating.
She is. There's literally a point where
Yeah.
Cloud will tell her, "Hey, shut the fuck up."
And at that point in time, I was like, yeah, Cloud's right. Shut the fuck up. Like, my favorite character actually ended up being Red 13, though. I don't know what it was about him in particular, but he was in my party constantly. I did not let that good boy out of my sight. My absolute favorite. He was perfect. Yeah, he was... Right. He was really fun to play, and I loved his character. I loved that, like, subtle hint that they gave you at, like, the start that, like, the way he's presenting himself to Cloud and the others is not who he actually is, that he's putting on this front. That was really cleverly done, because that was in the original, but because it's text-based, it's kind of hard to read it that way. It's hard for that to come through. But he does have a huge switch in the way that he talks to the others after Cosmo Canyon. After it's revealed this is an actual teenager, guys. This is not the, like, 50-year-old man that you think he is.
He's 48.
He had so many good, sweet moments. Some weird stuff with his backstory, but fine. I like that we got a little more insight into how things were for him in Hojo's lab. It was quick.
Oh yeah,
but we got
those scenes.
Yeah, it was quick, but we got it, and like that really it gave him a lot of depth.
Some fucked up stuff.
It was some fucked up shit. But yeah, no, I honestly, there was a lot that I liked about this. It was a fun game to play. Just overall, there were twists that I didn't see coming, and a lot of these like twists, yeah, it was like basically the same plot. But it felt different enough that I was still surprised.
The stuff with the gi in particular was like, whoa, what the fuck?
Yeah, that had me like, okay, wait, where are we going with this? Okay, got me hooked.
I guess they're aliens.
Yeah, I'm like, this is going on a little bit too long for my patience, but I'm interested in what's happening here. Wish you'd get to the point a little bit sooner. That honestly is my biggest complaint, but we'll get to that. But yeah, no, lots to like. Lots of big changes that were made, and some things that were the same, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, Genova's an alien too. Oh, I guess we should mention this before we get too far. Yeah, this video does not give a shit about spoilers, so if you give two shits about spoilers, why are you even here?
And why did you make it this far without shutting it off? Anyway.
Okay, so if that's everything you liked, well, let me ask you something that I actually don't see a lot of people mentioning. What would you change about this game?
The biggest thing that I would change, I think the script could have done with a little more editing. There were some lines of dialogue that I found a little clunky. Some of the story beats I felt were a little awkward at times. Most of it just comes down to they didn't. For the amount of time that they worked on this game, they got an insane amount done. It's shockingly polished, all things considered, you know? There's no reason for this game to be this good, for how quick they turned it out. So I think my biggest issue is some polishing things. I wish they had maybe taken another year and gone over the script a little bit. Maybe did some editing, especially on some of the rather long side quests that could have definitely been shorter. The Gi thing, I think, went on for way too long. And then there were like parts that were just kind of cut out completely that I felt a little sad about. We didn't really get to explore the Forgotten City like at all, and that was my second favorite place in the original, because it was gorgeous in the original. It was gorgeous. It was kind of haunting. It was neat. But you didn't get
the place where Aerith dies. I see.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's an abandoned city, and you kind of get these like glimpses into what the culture was like, who these people were, what was important to them, what this place might have looked like back in the day, and I would have liked to see some more of that instead of just like, oh, boom, we're here, and there's the altar, you know?
Yeah, they did kind of. They kind of got us like really initially interested during the whole bit in the temple, the temple where the black materia was.
Oh yeah.
By showing like, here's like little hints of what the ancients did in the past. Maybe when you go to their capital, we see more, but unfortunately not.
I guess it just felt a little rushed to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to really spend time on these other places. We spent a lot of time in Costa del Sol, in the Gold Saucer, even in Zach's hometown. It like
Gungaga
was a whole thing that I didn't expect, because it was just kind of a footnote in the original. Really, there wasn't a lot happening. I'm sorry, I genuinely don't remember what I was saying.
Forgotten Capital.
I know, but like, what about it? I had a lot to say about it.
Can I just point out how hilarious it is she forgot what she was saying about the Forgotten Capital?
Oh. Ha ha ha.
Kind of ironic, yeah. As for, we were discussing how they, like, the transition from when we were in the Temple of the Ancients and saw little bits of the Ancients' history.
And then you just kind of blink and it's like, oh, wait, we're in the capital now, and oh, everything's going down. Here's your final battle. It was very...
And we don't even explore it, yeah.
The pacing was very off at the end, I thought. I liked the end. I'm going to throw that out there. I thought it was very good. I had a good time with the ending. It hurt like hell. Holy shit. But I liked it. And it wasn't even, I'm going to spoil this, it wasn't even Aerith's death that hurt me, because we all knew that was coming. She was waving death flags the entire time. I'm just kind of like, oh yeah, this bitch about to die.
Oh, so when the game says it's legitimate, but when I say it, it's up for debate?
Well, because the game wasn't out yet.
She's got a point there.
Yeah, the game wasn't out yet. I didn't get to experience it. I had one trailer to go off of that was just kind of like boom, 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 boom. Yeah, but everything else was so different. Why would I think they, would keep in like the biggest spoiler in gaming history, you know?
Hey, officer, what do you call it when you can't tell if someone is saying something just to spite you?
Not sure.
To spite you.
Sure
I'm being genuine here. I was okay with her death because I had lots of time to process that it was about to happen. And the game still managed to surprise me with it, and that's the hardest part. How do you make something that everyone has known about since 1997? How do you make that into a surprise, and they still managed it? Which is a phenomenal feat, honestly.
I think it's because the way it initially showed up was you succeeded. You deflected his sword. But the question is, was that just stuff that, he was seeing? Or maybe that was something that happened in some different timeline and there's some weird, because like
more
how
questions than ever.
Yeah, like how Biggs was saying, was having various different memories show up, like he was like remembering stuff from the other timeline because he was brought from the other timeline, but maybe in some other timeline, he actually did succeed, and maybe she's alive in that timeline or something. I don't know.
But it's impossible to know because we all knew Cloud was an unreliable narrator. We all knew that, everyone that played the game back in 1997. That wasn't surprising to see him start to lose it, but everyone else's reaction to him when he starts to lose it was very different.
So I can answer some of that, because some of that is already answered. And I stress the term some. One, what you were seeing was, besides Aerith cheating like a hussy on Zack, what you were seeing was Aerith.
Dude, he's been dead for 5 years.
No. Don't try that. Especially since she can move through time.
If my boyfriend was dead for 5 years, I think I could get over it.
Yes, by pretending to stay unconscious in a world where he's alive, and then when he leaves, wake up and go on a date with his best friend. Okay, moving on.
That's what happened. I don't think that's what happened.
I think what happened
because
there
those two remembered the other timeline, so they were not the Cloud and Aerith from that timeline.
They were just temporarily inhabiting their other selves in the other timeline.
Yeah, it was spelled out
them,
pretty clear.
So she knew what she was doing. Anyways, okay.
I'm just gonna drop that.
No, you're not. So we already established this. Go ahead.
No. I was just in the middle of something and I forgot.
Damn, somebody really got that degradation. All right, so we already established long time ago, well before this game came out, we got a 2 Aerith problem showing up in this game. It's blatantly obvious there are 2 Aeriths in this motherfucker. But what we didn't know, or we didn't feasibly figure out until this game, is that it's kind of sort of not 2 Aeriths. It's one. Just like with Sephiroth. There are many bodies, but there is one Sephiroth. And he can exist outside of time. But here's the thing. Aerith started trying to run through timelines to get away from Sephiroth. Sephiroth figured it out and realized it. However, what still makes no sense and is weird, we don't know how the fuck Marlene knows that after they deconfirmed Marlene is not part Cetra. How the fuck does Marlene know that, and what Sephiroth even looks like or can explain him? Because even though everyone quote unquote in the world knows who Sephiroth is, Marlene was born after that common knowledge and does not know this fact. Because literally, basically from the time she was born, or 1 year old, Sephiroth is dead. So then eventually she realized she couldn't keep running. So what she did was try to give the other Aerith, who has to deal with a dysfunctional white materia, courtesy of probably Sephiroth not really explaining why her white materia don't work, to that Cloud, when she could have gave it to fucking Zack, but we're not gonna go there. And that's why that Cloud magically got that one. Because if you remember, Cloud does not take the white materia off of the clear white materia off of Aerith's body. So when you see her get stabbed and then the blood go on and away like static on the TV, what happened is Sephiroth, because he murdered her, is realigning the timeline to where she does not survive. The thing you see jumping back and forward is this is what was supposed to happen, and Sephiroth making sure it doesn't splinter at this point. So even though they threw everyone the fuck off when you fight Sephiroth for the umpteenth billion time in that one boss fight, but Aerith shows up, that is not the one that is with you your whole time, Rebirth, all that shit. That is what I like to call well, really just, we'll call it Omni Aerith. That is the Aerith who remembers everything. Because if you remember in the beginning of the game, she knows she lost a giant fragment of her future memories. And she doesn't know how to get them back. This is her soul from the live stream. Meaning that this is the Omni Aerith. Or if you really want to think about it, this is Advent Children Aerith on some level. Because this is the Aerith that remembers everything, remembers the timeline she's been through, all of that shit.
And knows Sephiroth's plan, yeah.
Yes, and if you actually, and it's hard to do because we all know that the audio mixing in this game was fucking ass for some reason. One of the things she says, if you have subtitles on, is, why is your plan really to destroy everything? Do you hate everything so much? He didn't say that to her. He said that to Cloud in Advent Children. And when I beat it already. But when I went to look up and just watch other people play the game, and I looked at it, and I saw he said that, I was like, what the fuck? And then that's when I put 2 and 2 together. Everything else, not my assumption. They confirmed it because, you know, the Ultimanias are a pain in the ass. Whenever there's an Ultimania in Japan, we get it 2 years later. But as we all know,
Yep.
Aubrey or Audrey translates important key information for us because she's just nice like that. And that's what they told us. The reason you saw 2 different scenes where she didn't die, she woke up, she did, is because her death triggered the collapse of that timeline where she did survive. Now, as far as why Cloud can still see her, well, reminder, he could see Aerith in hallucinations and as a ghost basically as early as halfway through Disc 2. If you go back to Midgard early, which you can do, a lot of people don't realize, or if you go to the underground sunken submarine, he sees Aerith's ghost there with no explanation as to why it's there, etc., etc. You can even go back to the Forgotten Capital, and a lot of people miss this one. There's a cutscene when Cloud's brain is put back together, where he tries to explain, you know, maybe he might see Aerith or hope that he sees Aerith again or some shit like that. But basically, her death realigned that point in time because Sephiroth needed that point in time to be realigned. Because if she was able to violate the timeline, he may not get the black materia. Because the only reason he got the black materia is because dumbasses let Cloud keep it, which still makes no sense even 20 years later. And as you saw, he still got it. However, this time, Cloud is the difference is Cloud is aware that Aerith, as a ghost, is still subconsciously residing within him. Again, much like what aligned with Advent Children, but it's still creepy. Because why the fuck does someone who's been dead in the Advent Children timeline for 2 years need to be fucking around in Cloud's head? I would like to say it's because, you know, Sephiroth remnants or some other shit, but it turns out Sephiroth wasn't actually bothering him this whole time until Kadash showed the fuck up.
I think for this remake timeline, she's probably, as I must now mention, you know, the question is which stamped timeline are we on? Because that's how we determine which
it's gotten to a point where it's just annoying to me.
But regardless what the timeline we're on, I think she's probably there just as a means to go if Sephiroth should try to exert further influence over Cloud, maybe her ghost could help him to get stable faster.
Yeah, but you know, that's why he has the white materia and the black materia, which he didn't before.
Yeah, she's basically trying to be his therapist, if you will. Yeah,
so that is the fragmented answer I can give you about that one, Honeybee. Now, is there anything else you would preferably like to change, or was just that the ending being less confusing? Was that it?
I didn't say I minded the ending being confusing. I actually was trying to say that I preferred it that way. Yeah, I didn't really get a chance to, but no, I actually, because this is the second in a trilogy, I actually liked that more questions were presented than answers, because that gives the third game the opportunity for that payoff, was what I was about to say.
Makes
Awkward. Sense. Okay, what else or what thing would you like to change in Rebirth, or what are some things you would change? Besides the minigame frequency, oh my fucking god.
Yeah,
I like that.
Fuck you. Fuck you on principle.
You know what? You're a lot like my husband where you want to stop for every single mini game. I do not have the patience for that shit.
No.
Bless
it's not
you
even
for
that. It wasn't even the frequency. The mini games did not need a hard mode. There should not be any items that are important tied to a hard mode version of those fucking mini games.
That I'll agree to.
And I hated that fucking one with the goo monsters and robots. Like, I want to punch whoever made that.
This one's kind of just a nitpick. The only thing I probably would have changed, the music in the Temple of the Ancients just didn't go as hard as the original. Yeah. It was just kind of a nothing song in the remake.
It's ironic
it was my
you should
favorite.
mention that because I'm using Temple of the Ancients footage in the background of this video.
Yeah, no, it was.
I think
Temple
the
of
wall
the
monster demon fight is gonna be in the background too. I did pretty well on that one.
I loved that it was in there. I was
And
thinking of that one, and I'm like, how are they gonna do this? And not
Bro,
make it
I
seem
specifically
silly?
went around trying to find booby traps because I wanted to fight that thing. I didn't think there would be two of them, and that was cool too. Oh wait, they're coming in on both sides? Man, this is really intense. I don't know why.
That was some
good.
masterclass shit right there.
It was very good. Like Temple of the Ancients was my favorite part in the original, which is weird to say because it's a lot of people's least favorite. I loved it. I thought it was very well done in the remake, and that was kind of one of my big fears. I was like, are they gonna be able to do this place any justice? And
I feel so
did.
bad for all the people who missed the two best fucking materia accessory bangles just because they didn't want to go and look for treasure chest. I knew they would do some shit like that because, well, they did it last time in the last game, and just Final Fantasy does that a lot. In general, Final Fantasy does shit like that. I specifically, when I saw, oh, wait a minute, this bangle has a high level of defense. It has 8 slots when the most you can find is 6 or 7. Oh, there's going to be an opposite version of this that has magic as a high defense stat and not physical as a high defense stat. Let me go get that shit. Love exploring dungeons.
Yup. They really reward you for going the extra mile to, look around in spots.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still pissed about what they did with Reno. I don't know if any of y'all caught that one.
Elaborate.
Okay,
what specifically?
So the strongest defense item in the game, boost up your magic defense and your physical defense like 50 points legitimately, and that's before enhancing it, right? The strongest one, you have to win at Gold Saucer, but the second one you have to specifically steal it from Reno in that final fight. So if Yuffie's not in your party, you just SOL.
Well, shit. The more you know.
Yep. No, I think that's about it.
Okay, well, this is the one I'm gonna be very interested in. I'm probably going to shout out preach a bunch of times to the point where even I'm not comfortable with it, and I'm gonna edit out the final video. What did you hate about this game? Besides Cat Sheep, because we'll be out here talking about him all day.
Him. I thought it was wonderful.
I thought he was perfectly fine.
Officer, what did I tell you? I would be celebrating the 25th anniversary of me putting him in the back of my party like he's in the back of the goddamn bus.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. put it this way.
And then
I didn't
the part
even
in
do his
Nibelheim.
fucking tutorial, and I'm not gonna.
The Nibelheim play.
Yep. Where you had to play him.
I didn't hate that, but I was not impressed.
No, I hated it because for one specific reason. No, not because I had to play him. They don't tell you going in, you're going to need Breach and Dispel. So here I am, who has never leveled that shit, and I don't even think I bought it. And now it's the most important material for this entire section.
True that.
Yeah. But yeah, so as far as what I hated, I didn't outright hate anything really. I have my nitpicks as I covered before, pacing issues. Some editing needed to be done that I think was Vincent was like kind of a nothing character.
For now.
I'm sorry. For now, but I'm sorry. For now, in this game, he was nothing. He was
100%.
He was the sulky goth kid at the back of the class. Like, that's what he was.
I'm mad at how accurate that description is.
He was. He's just standing there looking all like broody. Like, I don't actually want to be here. I want to go home and play on my Xbox. That's the vibe he had. So like I said, most of it is just nitpicking. Some side quests suck, but most of them were optional, so that's actually, oh, you know what? No, I changed my mind. I hated one thing. One thing I hated with every single fiber of my soul.
Oh.
I'm gonna let you guess.
Well, I mean, I don't really need to guess, but officer, go ahead and take it out.
I want you to guess.
I honestly don't even have
Fucking
the first
Chadley.
guess. Oh.
Fucking Chadley.
Just his existence in general?
Oh, you mean
I
how
didn't
all
mind
the
him.
cool items are locked behind his fucking torturous ass fights?
No, I don't even care about that. Him as a character, I fucking hate him. I want to punt that little child into the sun. I didn't give a shit about him. Well, like, the thing is, I didn't hate Chadley in the first one. I was just kind of like, he's fine. He's just a little guy. Whatever. He's a weird little robot guy. Weird, but fine, I guess. They made him into, like, a misogynistic prick.
Oh,
really
that
did.
shit. Yeah. I think they were trying to be funny, but it came across like an abusive relationship.
Yeah. I'm like,
Very.
what the fuck, Chadley? Shut the fuck up. I'd rather listen to her than you. She's annoying, but you're just being an asshole. Like, I want to punch you square in the nose right now. I want to commit, like, child abuse against you.
Doesn't
I
count
will
as
go to
child abuse if
prison.
he's not real.
That's true. Okay, that's fine. I will damage Shinra property. I give no fucks. I hate that kid. With, like, every fiber of my being.
You can tell she's reliving a relationship that they probably don't want to discuss.
Fucking hell. You have
No,
no
you've
idea.
never technically done a life story, but you could, I'm pretty sure.
I have stories. Like the time my dad joined a cult.
Oh, fuck.
I'm not at liberty to say. But that was a whole thing.
Seriously,
yeah.
why have you
Hold
not
on.
done a life story? I'm actually
I
offended.
don't know why I haven't done a life story. Maybe I should. That's true. Alright, maybe I will sometime. I have the stories. But anyway, yeah. Fuck Chadley. He's a little dick, and I hope he dies. Genuinely. Or gets deactivated, or this is the one situation where I'm actually cheering for Hojo. Hojo, fuck him up.
Well, then.
Bro, like, this is something hilarious. I know we all didn't care about it, but it was funny as hell to me. When Zack and Cloud are fighting Sephiroth, Zack says, "How could you turn your back on everything we ever stood for as soldiers?" And in the most calm voice, Sephiroth just goes, "Easily." Right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I said it at the same time that Sephiroth did, because my first thought was, motherfucker, he was basically raised by Hojo. How is he not? Why would he be okay in any way?
Yup.
What happens when you go to Nibelheim? Remember, at this point in time, Sephiroth is like 3, maybe 4. What does he say? No, not 3. He's like 5. What does he say? He flatly says that man shouldn't be left to his own devices for any reason at all. Like, you have to understand, there is nobody who, by choice or force, had to spend more time with Sephiroth that is still alive. I mean, with Hojo that is still alive than Sephiroth. Really stop and think about it.
True.
Like, and I'm not saying this as a Sephiroth sympathizer or Sephiroth did nothing wrong, okay? I get it. He did many terrible things unless Aerith is involved, in which case it's okay. But look at his upbringing. He don't know who his mommy is. No. He don't know who his daddy is. He don't know he's a test tube baby, and he's left with Hojo. Hojo.
Oh my god, that poor child probably had to get like mystery injections like every single day.
Why do you think fucking Vincent
all the experiments
is in his coffin all the time? Because he feel bad about what he could potentially do to people if he can't keep the demons that Hojo literally injected in him under control. And then here's Sephiroth living with the motherfucker.
I feel like if Dirge Cerberus is like anything to go off of, I feel like Vincent also kind of feels bad that he didn't try to stop the experiments.
We don't mention that name in this house.
What?
Blasphemy.
Dirge Cerberus.
What did I just say?
Oh, that yeah.
I was merely confirming.
It was bad.
It was.
It wasn't just. It wasn't
even the gameplay. It was the story and the gameplay. The one time
was everything
they don't have people who actually built and designed Final Fantasy VII, and the person who wrote it wasn't involved. The one time they say, "Hey, let's do something that's completely unrelated directly to everything that came before, and let's do something in the future. Who should work on this game? Oh, let's have Nomura do it." Why would you do that?
Because they hadn't seen him fuck up with Kingdom Hearts yet.
Right. Okay. The what are they called? The Vets or whatever. Yeah, whatever they are. It was just Organization 13. That's what they were. They were just a colorful Organization 13.
Soldiers, and you're not wrong. If you stop and think about it, the concept is basically the same.
Yeah, no, that's exactly. I can point out members of Organization 13 and what members of Deep Ground are like. They're like the ones like fucking what was her name, Rosa or whatever.
Rosa the Crimson.
Rosa the Crimson. She's basically Larxene. That's Larxene right there.
Fucking hive mind right there.
I think you mean Marluxia, the one with the scythe.
No. I mean the crazy bitch Larxene. Yeah, I mean the crazy bitch Larxene. Because she's crazy, or whatever the fuck.
She's an insecure tomboy who wants attention, but she can't get it the normal way, so she decides to harass boys. I literally can count off 4 girlfriends who wouldn't admit it, but that's basically what the fuck they were doing to get my attention. We are mentioning things we hate. Technically, we should keep the hatred in line with, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. But if we made a why we can't stand Kingdom Hearts video, man, the internet will come down on me so hard. But like many females who I hate for annoying me before them, I will ignore them so hard it won't even be funny. It'll just be sad. I think I get half the tick pics that I do, because I don't actually request them. I think I get them because there's some element to some of the women that I meet that they need validation. But at the same time, I'm not trying to stop you from getting validation. I would prefer you get it so you can leave me the fuck alone. But so yeah, what else do you hate?
Kinda weird.
Or was it just Chadley being an asshole?
I mean, honestly, I'm fine with the game as it is. I have my little issues with it. I have my little nitpicks. Chadley is the only thing that I could have removed from the game entirely and feel like it is a better experience for it.
My answers slightly deviate from yours. Okay, my turn.
Okay.
All right, so, as per usual, feel free to interject, especially if it's comedic. What did I like? I like when Aerith died. And I like that the internet is not the only person that thinks she owns some whole shit. Because here she is, being able to move through time on some level, like Sephiroth. Create or go through alternate timelines on some level, just like Sephiroth. Have a functioning living boyfriend who saved you from being kidnapped in a wreckage from Shinra Corporation. Brought you back to your mama's house with his best friend. And the first thing you did when you woke up, snatched the consciousness of his best friend and go, hey, let's go on a date. I'm glad I'm not the only person on the internet who realized that's real fucked up. Like, that actually made me happy. I finally get to see a chink in the armor that is Aerith fans. Because there was no defending that shit. Really. This is an Aerith who knows what's going on. Other things I liked. Well, how to put it? I like that I wasn't bonded to having Cloud in my party 24/7, 365. What I hated though, and I know I should wait, but it's obvious. I fucking hated that we legitimately have to wait till the beating the game to remove Cloud from the party. I don't hate Cloud. Don't get me wrong. I don't hate Cloud. He kissed Tifa. If anything, I'm jealous. My problem is that there are situations where I'm looking at this game like, it would be really cool if I could take this motherfucker out of my goddamn party right now. Not just when it's a VR mission. Why let me take Cloud out my party in a fucking VR mission with Chadley all throughout the game, but then when I go to play the story mode, no, sir. You have to beat everything first. That doesn't strike anybody as fucking annoying?
Just a bit.
Yeah. I did like... I'm not going to go into details. I'm going to just say the words because we all know. Golden Saucer. Moving on. I liked
so good.
that there was a genuine effort put into expanding Gungaga. Because if you really stop and think about it, Gungaga on screen in the original game was basically 2 images and then you're out of Gungaga. They show you a whole village and shit, but if memory serves, you basically just see a bunch of hoods that you can't interact with, 4 people, and 2 of those people you can interact with are Zack's parents. And something that was actually pretty cool and unique that's to this game that you don't get to do anytime else, instead of going back and doing cutscenes with different party members to see them say different things, you can bring them. Because a lot of people forget, you can go to Gungaga before Aerith dies. And her reaction will be different from when Zack, if you go there with Tifa in your party and Aerith is dead. This game, you got to go with both of them motherfuckers. Another thing I liked, the team attacks. I have a love-hate. They're in both categories. They're in things I loved and things I hated, which I know was weird coming from the guy who loved Chrono Trigger and said that they should put team attacks in there literally as far back as 2019. Right? Here's my issue. I don't know how many people realize it. The game doesn't pause when you do team attacks. So you know what that means? Your enemy can still hit you. Imagine doing a team attack that's literally going to win you the game, but some little ass enemy or some motherfucker on a different side or corner of the screen hits you with Fire Auger and both the characters fucking die. And the game just immediately makes them die. It doesn't even finish the animation.
Saw that happen at least once.
I know that's some bullshit, but when a boss goes into a transition, they get put up a little stopper. You can still hurt them on some level.
That pissed me off so many times. I wasted good attacks when that happened.
Yes. And they don't tell you this, but also they don't tell you can switch who you're controlling. So here's where the love-hate comes in. I needed to guarantee I didn't get fucked with when I did team attacks, right? So 80% of the team attacks I've ever done in the game, even up until this point, I switched to the 3rd character to make sure nobody is hitting them or about to do some insanely big ass technique while they're in the middle of a team attack. So I can't even enjoy the team attacks. But I fucking love them. Or, reminder, Barret and Yuffie are the only characters who can get stronger by making their ATB gauges go to 3. So imagine you make their ATB gauges go to 3, and then, they both lost more than half their HP. So that means you basically got to play the pray, literally use pray, or pray, no pun intended, you fill up one more ATB gauge so you can both use chakra on 2 people. The 2 people who need fucking 3 ATBs the most because they can actually use it. It was depressing, man. It was legitimately depressing. All these cool techniques, and I can't see half of them unless it's near the end of the fight or there's only one enemy on the screen, because I'm scared they're just gonna magically, some screen clearing thing is gonna make somebody go to sleep, or they're gonna get stuck in time because they can be frozen. Which, let me say, the characters look cool when they get frozen in time in the middle of a team attack. Like, no matter what angle. That shit pissed me off so fucking much. I like being able to play Zack. I don't like how they did it, but we'll get there, cross that bridge.
Yeah.
I like being able to play Sephiroth. I'm mad they didn't let me play Sephiroth when he was killing Aerith, but that's another matter entirely. And man, when you have that transition from Casa del Sol to Mount Corel to Gungaga, I don't remember the order. Just knowing how fucking much area you can explore. The exploration, especially since it's not forced on you, like once you unlock an area, how deep you go into it is up to you as an individual. Man, I fucking love that. I also love that depending on where you are, all the side quests don't just come from the town. Like, I enjoyed 90% of the mini games until I realized there was a hard mode version, because fuck all that shit unnecessarily. Like, I enjoyed that Chadley could help get materia that you either wouldn't find in the game, or the materia weren't locked behind a giant enemy that you had to fight. Technically it was, but you know what I mean. You just get enough scout points, you can get some materia that's going to be really, really good for the rest of the game. If you really start thinking about it, almost every single materia Chadley gave you was good for the entire game.
Yup.
Including hard mode shit. And I still got to tell my friends, like, I know y'all hate Gilgamesh. I know y'all hate doing that Cosmo Canyon proto relic shit. I'm right there with you. But if you want to get the best materia that you can get from Chadley, you have to do all of the proto relic shit.
I hated the proto relic shit, but I absolutely love Gilgamesh, so I just suffered.
I kind of in the same boat. Loved Gilgamesh. Yeah. Some of the proto relic stuff I enjoyed, others not so much.
Anytime Gilgamesh shows up in a game, I'm just like all in. I'm like, yep, let's go.
I think the only time I didn't like Gilgamesh, ironically, was original Gilgamesh, but I don't even know how many people actually have seen original Gilgamesh. He's only in
5?
one game. No, that's not original Gilgamesh.
That was his first appearance in the franchise.
Yes, but that is not Gilgamesh before his body and DNA got fucked up. Like back when he was still technically human. He only shows up in one game, and he was like his most boring self, ironically. I think it was a black guy too.
Which one was that?
Type 0. That is Gilgamesh's origin. So
I'm gonna press X to doubt on that, but I'll look into it.
Bro, I can sum it up for you right now. So in Type 0, Gilgamesh is from that area, region, or dimension, if you will. You fight him because he says he wants a challenge. Every time you beat him, he uses a different weapon from one of your party members. And then eventually, if you beat him with like, I think all 12 or 13 playable characters, he says, man, you guys are strong. I'm going to go on an adventure, and I'm going to try to find the strongest weapons, and I'm going to try to become the best possible warrior I can be. And then you never see him again. That is where he starts. Now, how he got into the Bart's dimension is anyone's guess. Or he found somewhere to get immortality, and he was just in Type 0 happens in the Bart's dimension. and eventually he gets flung through different dimensions. He also technically appears in before Final Fantasy 1 in the new DLC for Strangers of Paradise, which takes place before Final Fantasy 1. Gilgamesh is supposed to be a
Well, yeah. But that could very well just be a Gilgamesh from...
All Gilgamesh are Gilgamesh.
Yes. Every Gilgamesh in Final Fantasy is the same one.
Except the only exception may be 9, where they did not confirm outright if that is Gilgamesh.
I think 15 as well.
I didn't even know. Wait, he was in 15?
Yeah, he was the main, he was the main quote-unquote antagonist of Gladiolus' DLC. He wasn't really, a villain. He was just, one of the first guards for the king.
It was DLC.
Yeah, and the one in 13 is the same one from 5, but he knows he's in a video game. It was weird. Anyways, so I hate that. I love those material because I'm gonna tell you, I don't know if y'all realize it, but right before you fight Gilgamesh, you know how it makes you fight all the summons? Yeah, you can put the game on easy mode and it doesn't hold it against you. That was literally the only time I played easy mode the entire time.
That stuff was bullshit.
No, my problem is it was unnecessarily long. I know I could do it because I had elemental material and I know how to lower the damage that they do. My problem is that it should not be there because I'm at the end of it. I did all your mini games. Fuck this shit. That was the first time I went to easy mode, including Final Fantasy VII Remake. That was the first time I did easy mode, and that was, unless they do some stupid shit like that again, it's probably gonna be the last time. But yeah, they legitimately fucking Swiftcast is in there. Comet is in there. That shit is crazy. Imagine all the strongest magic spells and it takes 3 seconds or 2 seconds to bring them out. You can only do it if you go whoop Gilgamesh's ass. Apparently, Chadley found a way to develop materia just by beating Gilgamesh's ass. There's no explanation for it literally at all. But I'm okay with that. So yeah, that's some future stuff y'all might want to look into. And you don't have to be on hard mode to do it. So yeah, that's what you get at the end of Proto Relics. When you get to chapter 13, the world literally redesigns itself. An island rises from the sea and Gilgamesh is there, and that's where you fight him. In fact, that was where Cloud had been teleporting to every time he touched a Proto Relic.
Yup.
But what they didn't tell you is that, you get to fight the summons in pairs 4 times before you have to go and fight.
Yeah, that was kind of irritating.
And, oh god, those summons were rough.
Yeah, if you don't have maximum materia or maximum level, whatever you get in your party, they're about to get maxed the fuck out right then and there. I did find Ribbon though, but that's another matter we won't get into. I liked that, and this is from the guy who hates the Turks. I actually also liked that the Turks had more of a bearing on the story and weren't just people who were trying to chase you or one step ahead of you. They actually affected things in a comical way and a serious way, just like in the original. They matched the tone of the Turks perfectly.
Even with the introduction of Elena.
Yeah, Elena was weird because Elena's characterization is basically she is Sung's little Asian weeaboo fangirl. But, at some point in time, also, she decides she hates you because you are a threat to Sung. Now it seems like she has her own agency. She's still obsessed with Sung on some level, but now she feels like she has her own agency. And her playstyle is distinct enough to be able to tell apart.
I found her annoying.
No, she is, but she's annoying because of good writing.
Yeah, God, I just, she started talking and I was immediately just shut the fuck up, Skip.
Oh, I remember one.
Yeah.
That's pretty oof.
I don't
Ouch.
like her. I don't know what it was about her. They made her extra irritating, and I get it. She's the youngest Turk, but it's kind of the same way that Yuffie irritates me.
Ironic.
you know?
Those two characters are the youngest in their parties.
Yeah, no.
So fucking as far as what I would change, the fucking volume. Look, I can't tell you how many times I know the characters are talking on screen, and then all of a sudden the field music is overpowering a fucking cutscene. Or if I'm in a city or a village, I'm legitimately enjoying the cutscene, and then all of a sudden the Cosmo Canyon, it's just like stupid loud. Like nobody checked this shit.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was just
The
me.
audio balancing, there was something wrong with it.
Again, I think that comes down to polishing, like I was saying earlier. Just, it could have used another few eyes and ears before, you know? That's something they definitely should have noticed.
I put my music on like 6. The regular audio and sound effects goes from like 1 to 10. I didn't take anything lower than 9, but except for the fucking BGM, I put that shit on 6 because I wanted to hear the goddamn story. And it really sucks because, you know, when you get into them good boss battles, the music is fucking baller. But if I gotta now choose between baller music or hearing what the characters are saying. And then even if I'm out in the field and they're doing that verbal cutscene where we didn't want to animate this, so we're just gonna have these characters talk. And then if a fight breaks out, guess what? You'll never find out what the fuck they said. I hated that shit.
Annoyingly,
I'm with
like
you
every
there.
time something like that is in a game, that's always how it goes. Baldur's Gate has the same issue for me.
Yeah, that's that shit that makes me keep the subtitle with character narration text on screen at all times. Like I almost missed it, and I still know people to this day who didn't catch it. You can trigger Barrett and Cloud becoming legitimate friends, right? Because, you know, they had this, we're going to pretend to hate each other, but it softens over the game. But the actual moment wasn't even a fucking cutscene. You have to do one mission with Barrett that gets you a copy of a level up materia. One of the blue materias from Mount Corel. And Barrett will say, I'm glad you two came into my life. He's talking about Cloud and Tifa. And he's explaining what his relationship was like with Marlene before he got to Sector 7 or when he got there and joined Avalanche. And it's like, why is this not happening in a hotel room? And them just talking like, hey man, I'm glad you're my friend. I'm glad you
Why
came
is
into
this
my life.
not a big old cutscene? Yeah.
Yeah. Like this one was actually important, but also glaring ass Mount Corel music playing. So I was like, man, I wish I had done it sooner. That's one of the main things that I fucking would change. Also, I would change the fact that there's no invulnerability on team attacks. Hell, I would even make a materia that makes me invulnerable during team attacks. I'm invulnerable during limit breaks. I'm invulnerable and time stops when I fucking summon. And when I want to do a team attack and one of the characters is across the screen next to the enemy and the other one isn't, you can switch to the character. The game doesn't tell you this. You can switch to the character that's closest to the enemy and your other character in that team attack will teleport next to them instantly. And I learned that the hard way. I had a character die and I couldn't explain why they died because they were halfway across the screen. Oh, they got hit with lightning in the middle of doing fucking a team attack when they were halfway across the screen. Did anybody else catch that? They will legit teleport. Yeah, they will legit teleport. So
More you know.
Yeah. Also, I would change how long it takes to get some of the cooler items and accessories. Ribbon is one of the most important accessories that has ever existed in Final Fantasy VII, let alone any other Final Fantasy. You know what you have to do to get Ribbon? You have to beat hard mode in the Gold Saucer Battle Coliseum. The final boss is, you know, PlayStation 1 Sephiroth, which, I mean, duh, makes sense. But the fact that I had to go through all that.
It's really hard.
No, it's not. Here's what you do. Cheat. For some reason, they didn't turn off the ability to fucking pause. And no one caught this but me.
Lol, what?
I'm dead serious.
Oh.
I bet you could beat all of them in under 30 minutes.
Shit.
Yup.
Oh, shit.
You're welcome.
Well. Okay, then.
Yeah, you are very welcome.
Well,
and ribbon is
now
what you
I
get from
know.
Sephiroth. Yeah, ribbon is what you get from Sephiroth. But also, some of those fights, if you win them, you get dark matter. Why is dark matter important? I hear you not asking. Blink, blink. So, the items you get from Gilgamesh all cannot be made without dark matter. The one that lets you break 999 damage cap, you need dark matter. The one that reduces the damage you take by 15% and the damage you give by 15%, which you can easily get around with like 3 materia. I'm not joking. So it's all benefit. Yeah. That Genji armor shit, all of that, dark matter, dark matter, dark matter. So you want to do the mini games to get dark matter. And if you run out of dark matter, check the hard mode version. Get more dark matter. That is what I would change. Also, one of the things I would change is I want to be able to fucking not have Cloud in my goddamn party. Now, obviously, we all know going into Disc 3, no pun intended, Cloud's going to be removed from the party anyway. And when he comes back, you'll be able to freely change.
I think in the original you were controlling Sid at the time.
Yeah, but he said he only does it temporarily. Then he says he can't do it. Then you give it to Tifa, and then Tifa says, hey, anybody can be leader. Yeah, just start the fucking games like that. Okay? Now, in Remake, that made sense. This entire story arc pretty much happens. It's just Cloud and Aerith. Occasionally Tifa. Then you get Barret. So there's really not extra characters to switch around too much. In here, it would have been beneficial as shit. Also, I want every character to have some type of aerial maneuver, including Barret. If Barret can throw Tifa up in the air so she can do damage, Cloud can literally, for some reason, he has the ability to, I don't know if he can, no one can tell me if Cloud can fly or not. No one really knows, but Cloud seems to work on Kingdom Hearts 2 logic, essentially. Why can't Barret shoot?
Extended jump.
Sure. Why can't Barret, and then go look at him in Smash Bros. What the fuck is that?
I know, right?
Like, this motherfucker's moving around like Magus from Chrono Trigger. I want everyone to have aerial attacks. First off, Red 13 not having aerial attacks makes no fucking sense. He literally ducks and dodges and spins around and hovers above the ground in almost every single move he got, unless he's howling at the fucking moon that he creates out of nothing. He has no air moves? Get the fuck up out of here. What else? Oh yeah, I want to actually play Zack more than just at the beginning of the game and the ending of the game. Okay? You've already got me interested and invested in this alternate timeline, leaving dimensions where Zack is alive shit. By the way, still don't know how and why in the fuck Zack got pulled from where he was in darkness over to where Cloud was. I want to blame Aerith, but here's my problem. Aerith didn't show up until after it was over.
Maybe she did do it, but she didn't want to, talk to Zack. True. There is that.
Also, Cloud doesn't have a crush on Aerith despite everyone wanting him to. But anyways, moving on. As far as what did I hate? All the people who think that Aerith is still alive. But that aside, I hated the fucking music. God, I hated how they did the music mixing. We said that. I hated that fucking cross attack, team up attacks are not fucking invulnerable. Oh, I also hate that there's not a 3-person team attack. It was right there in their face. And you know the fucked up part?
Yep.
You know how long it took me to realize it? Remember when you're fighting Sephiroth and right when he changes to that other form where he looks like his body sitting on top of Genova's body, that weird monster thing? Yeah. Remember how everyone, when Cloud, Tifa, and Barret did this weird charge up maneuver where they all just attacked at once, my brain immediately said, wait a minute, why don't they have a triple team attack?
Yeah, I mean, while there weren't a lot of them, Chrono Trigger had that too.
Yeah. No, I'm saving y'all from a fate worse than death, by the way. You're welcome. I hate party level 10. What? Why? How could you possibly hate party level 10? I'm gonna make it real simple for you. You can only see party level 10 if you got party level 9 unlocked. Everything on party level 10 is fucking worthless. It is nothing big, it's nothing serious. The special moves you get come from party level 9. The final limit break you get, party level 8 or party level 9. But you know what you get for party level 10? You get basic stat buffs and modifiers. Get the fuck out of here. And you only get one.
Stat buffs.
Bro, Clouds? Clouds is he boosts up how much limit gauge is charged up when he does an ATB attack. That's his level 10 ability. Are you fucking serious? But you know what his level 8 is? He gets that Aeolian slash. You know the one where he says back to the planet.
Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah, and he gets his level 3 finishing touch limit break. Everybody except Tifa.
Touch was good.
Except Tifa gets a new move and a new limit break when they get to level 9. Tifa's unique. She got a whole nother stance she could use. And it's cool. You know why? Because she does 3 chi taps or chi traps. You know when she hits the ground and makes that ball of energy that can hurt people? She can do that, make a smaller version of it 3 times in the middle of a normal attack combo when you go into that stance. It's called Unfettered Fury. And the crazy part, guess what? If you have one of those moves or abilities on that allows you to start the match with unbridled strength, if you go to Unfettered Fury, it'll automatically put you at the level 3 version of it. So you won't have to stack it 3 times. Yeah. So 90% of the time I was fighting with Tifa, I'm doing fucking Unfettered Fury. Unfettered Fury is actually really fucking cool. The combo is just as long as Unbridled Strength, but it's all different motions, and she's letting out giant chi blasts that stay in motion. She can do 3 at once in one combo, and all I'm doing is pressing normal attack button. It doesn't count as an ability. And then imagine doing all that, then followed by chi tap. Fucking insane. So yeah, I hate party level 10. They need to completely overhaul it and redesign it for the next game, because that shit was dumb. I went on everybody's tree. All of them just get a basic stat modifier at level 10. The level you can only get by doing every single Chatley request and getting every single checkbox on those those field boss enemies too. And on top of that, you have to get, I think, hard mode clear in every single fucking minigame. You don't get a party level increase anymore. You don't get a party level increase anymore from just completing a chapter or fighting a boss of a chapter. You have to do the Chatley fights, get every little checkbox filled from those field bosses, and you have to do the mini games on hard mode. There's no way to generate enough points otherwise. And it's not fucking worth it. But luckily, since I got to see them one level, you obviously one level above you, I knew immediately, nope, this is a bad deal. I hate that I couldn't play Vincent. I hate that I couldn't play Sid. I hate that they include Vincent in a fucking mini game, but then Sid doesn't get not a mini game, a side quest. But Sid gets no side quest.
I know, right? They're really doing him dirty.
Side note, I am glad that they did fix that belief system. I don't know how we all started it, but for some reason, a lot of people thought Sid was like 50 in Final Fantasy VII. No, he's like
wasn't he in his 30s?
Yeah, but apparently it was common assumption that he was like nearing his 50s.
He was described as an old man at the age of 32.
God,
and I got my 34-year-old ass sitting here like...
I just like how, depending on the episode, you do and don't want to say your age.
You know what? I am all over the place. I'm allowed to be. You're not my dad. I do what I want.
That is the most Aerith annoying thing I've ever heard you say. Moving on.
Okay.
So that was essentially. Oh, do I need to say cat she? Do I really need to say cat she? I don't think I need to say cat she. We all know I hate that motherfucker. I hated being forced to play it. I also find it weird that the entire party, basically except for Yuffie, says, "You look like a little Shinra snitch. Are you a Shinra snitch? You know what I do to Shinra snitches?" This is Barrett. Barrett's basically telling everybody, "Hey, this motherfucker a snitch. Not joking. Fuck the bullshit. This a snitch right here. Yo, snitch ass stuffed animal snitch." And then it turns out to be a snitch. And nobody fucking says anything about it.
Hashtag Barrett was right.
Yes. So yeah, those are all the things I hated. I enjoyed this game. I fucking hate that some of the best and coolest moments weren't even a cutscene, and they were muddled out by background music. Like when Sid tells Aerith, I don't know if y'all caught this because the music was fucking blaring. Sid has met Aerith's mom.
Oh yeah, no, that was like an entire 15-minute thing.
Bro, tell me why they couldn't just put a cutscene up of us looking at Sid sitting in the back of his head and just have his head moving up and down. Sid talking to Aerith sitting somewhere in the back and saying, "Yeah, I knew your mom." They couldn't do that? Oh my god, it was depressing.
Yeah.
Oh wait, final thing I hated. Corsair. Fuck that dude. Not because he got enemies that can regenerate, that's good for training and practice and all that shit. No, my problem is I had to go and find whatever the fuck a jetsam is. Someone Google what the hell a jetsam is anyway. And I had to go all over the map just to be able to fucking do nothing? Fucking hated the jetsams. But anyways, alright, officer, what did you like about the game?
Well,
Wait, hold on a second. Before you go, or before you have to go, because you're very good at sneaking out of here on podcasts. Can't say I blame you. People got shit to do. What is something, Honeybee, that you want to happen in, let's call it Revival, or Remember, Final Fantasy VII Revival, Part 3?
Honestly, as long as they don't leave loose ends, I'm gonna be perfectly happy. They haven't really let me down so far, so I have full confidence that whatever they have in store for us, it is going to be well worth the wait. So what I want to see is whatever they've got cooking in their little brains right now. I have no solid theories. I have little ideas floating in my brain of what I think is going to happen, but I have no hard theories, and honestly, I don't think I'm going to have any hard theories. I'm just gonna sit and wait and see what they deliver.
Have you accepted that Aerith is dead yet? The first step is always acceptance.
I've accepted absolutely fucking nothing.
Oh my god.
I don't think she intentionally wants to spite you.
Well,
Believe
that's
it or
a lie.
not, Zax, it is not my life goal to spite you. She's my favorite character. I know she's not everyone's favorite character. I'm gonna be an adult about it and be like, you know what? She's not everyone's cup of tea, and that's okay. I think she's delightful. I'm going to continue thinking she's delightful.
That's fine. I know I can't stop you. I was specifically referring to the dead undead thing. I don't know what it is.
I know for a fact that she was dead in the original. We know nothing in this game, though. Anything you think you know is still a big question mark.
She's not wrong.
in one sentence, in the back of my head, they just made me go, well, maybe she isn't dead. The fact that that thought creeped up in my head genuinely bothers me. How the fuck did you just do that?
By a fictional woman. I said, I don't know why you're so bothered by like this fictional woman. I don't you told me the story. I still don't get it. You don't have to tell me the story again. I'm just kind of like, I mean this with all of the respect in the world. Have you considered therapy about this particular issue?
Okay, so I'm talking about theory crafting now, Aerith, not the actual character. I'm talking about the concept of her being dead or alive. You found a way to actually make it creep up in my head.
And you were bothered by that.
Fuck you. Literally up until that sentence, I was like, no, she is dead. People just don't want to accept it. Now you made me think of, well, fuck, maybe she isn't.
Didn't make you do anything. I don't think there is a way that I could make you do anything. I was simply pointing out that the way that the game is written and presented, it is impossible to know anything for an absolute fact.
Fuck, now I'm thinking she's alive. Let me rephrase that. Now I'm thinking she's going to end the game by coming back.
A real possibility. So, so the first question was, what did I like about it? Well, I liked Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh in any Final Fantasy game where he's, the Gilgamesh, the silly, happy-go-lucky, crazy Gilgamesh that we know, perfect. Or for those who play Final Fantasy XIV, the Greg we know. It's a nickname he gets through the Hildebrand side quests, but Gilgamesh, real good. I would have him in every Final Fantasy game if I could. Even if he only shows up as like DLC. I think he did that in 13.2 as well, and it was pretty awesome there, but let's see here. I actually appreciated Casey because I feel like we all knew he's a snitch, he's gonna turn on y'all. But when they had him, do his big redemption in the temple, it felt a lot more impactful than it did in the original. And I appreciated that. And his gameplay was interesting and different. Being the whole doing magic and physical, depending on whether he's got his Mog out.
Points.
Yeah. Okay. As for other things I appreciated back in this Rebirth, I appreciated how much they gave. Like, it wasn't really the sort of skits or anything, but your party interaction with each other, how you could level up your relationship values with your party members. That was top tier stuff. I hope they continue that into the next game and maybe even expand on it a little bit more.
I am so glad that you mentioned that. I'm about to leave, but I did definitely want to say that's something I completely forgot about that I really enjoyed. Because in the original, you didn't get to like see that. You just kind of had to guess. Because that was a thing in the original game. That was very much like in the background.
Well, as always, Honeybee, we like having you here, despite our opposite opinions. At least we both can agree Cat She ain't shit, I think.
That Why do you keep saying that?
I
I
think he's
loved
fine.
him.
I don't know. My bad. Okay, Officer, you and me hate Kachi. Okay, well, at least we can agree that it was dumb as hell that they didn't make team attacks invulnerable.
Yeah, those sucked.
I'm kind of mad you put a brain worm in my head, but I have to respect your gangster on that level. Few people can do that. And I will be sure to let you know when this episode drops.
Awesome. Okay, bye. Bye, Zax. Bye,
Farewell.
Officer. Bye.
Yeah, I
But,
can't wait till this episode drops like Sephiroth's sword and Aerith's back. Continue.
You just had to do that. All right. But in the original game, yeah, I didn't really think much of K-Seth. But in this new one, honestly, I'm starting to appreciate him as a character. And I do not mind this fact. Same situation with Yuffie, where in the original game, she was just, whatever. And, the awful shit where she steals your materia when you get to Wutai. I hope that in the next game, they don't have that happen. Because that'd be a very quick way to make me immediately hate her.
That's exactly what they're going to do, and you know it.
Probably, but I hope. I guess I'll be able to accept it if they do it relatively early on, when you when you're not at the point where you're super reliant on the materia you have equipped, where you can get through fights without having to make use of materia and the like. Because I'm assuming they're probably going to do it just like they did with Rebirth here, where you're not starting out like at level 50 or whatever. You're going to start out again, at level 1 or something, and then level up as you go through the game. Which, honestly, I don't have a problem with that. Keep it going. Keep that going. Because we're all here to play and enjoy the game, and you don't have to, arbitrarily assign levels and the like for that, because as we saw with Rebirth here, they did perfectly fine with that, where you start out, you're back at level 1, but you're, you're able to do so much more because of those team attacks. But other than that, you and Honey Bee mostly covered what I was going to say for stuff that appreciated. Though, actually, no. There was one little thing that I remember. It was kind of like it happened in, a main, this is, part of the main story. You're going to see this regardless, where, over in Cosmo Canyon, Bugenhagen, old guy, really knowledgeable, readily admits that, yeah, I am old and stuck in my ways. This could be a problem. This could be a problem for me. I should be willing to open myself up to new perspectives, recognizing that, yeah, I'm old and stuck in my ways, but I should be willing to change my mind based on new information, because he's a scientist, and that's what scientists should do. I appreciated that extra bit of character that they gave him there, and I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what happens, though he's probably going to die in the next part, just like he did in the original game. I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with him next in the next game. All right. It was a very strongly implied, yeah, he passed away after he gave Red 13 his ultimate weapon.
Damn. Went out like a G.
Yeah. But I'm looking forward to that, to seeing, where they take him. And for how little Sid was in the game, unlike Vincent, he gave a really strong character impression. I'm annoyed that he wasn't playable, but I appreciate what we got character-wise from him. Because, like, in the original, wasn't he playable shortly after Nibelheim?
No, he was playable the minute you went into the mansion at Nibel. Because initially, in the original version, you can get access to Vincent basically at hour 10. Whereas here, you get him like right before the end of the game, essentially.
For the most part, yeah. Oh yeah, because I think it was in the original game, after you went through Nibelheim, on the other side of the mountains, that's where the Cid's town with the rocket was. Unless I'm remembering incorrectly, which it's been a while. I don't claim to have a perfect memory. I just know I have a decent memory.
Yes, Rocket Town is literally where he's from. It's actually called Rocket Town, which I don't know which came first at that point.
Oh, but yeah. You and Honeybee mostly covered the other, good aspects of the game. So that's pretty much it for that first question. The second question was, what did you dislike?
Was that a question?
Yeah, I'm just confirming. Was that the second question?
Yeah, bro. The second question.
What would I change? I would make Chadley less of a fucking asshole. What the hell was wrong with him? Come on, man. You don't... even if, she was just a sub-AI created by him, he shouldn't be treating her like trash like that. What the hell was wrong with him there? I'm only assuming that must be the influence of Hojo or something. I don't know. As for other things I'd change, I would have made more of the mini, the proto-relic stuff, maybe less directly tied to Chadley, because, again, he's a fucking asshole. What the hell's wrong with you, Chadley? Come on. And, honestly, I can't think of much else that I would change that, again, you and Honeybee didn't already cover. So, honestly, I guess that's it for that question. As for topic 3 of, stuff I disliked, well, I already mentioned Chadley, but I'll second Honeybee's mention of how the ending, it felt really rushed, and we didn't really explore the City of the Ancients at all, when they could have taken that and easily had it as, hey, this is a big place that you can explore and see more of the, history of the Cetra. But instead, we get that huge rush of, everything after the Temple of the Ancients to, oh, hey, now we're at the ancient capital, and okay, now we're in the final boss fights of the game. We don't even have like we don't even have it as a dungeon or whatever. There's a lot more they could have done with the ancient capital that it was just wasted potential. Unless maybe they're going to have that as a big thing in the next game, because I vaguely remember in the original there was, you had to do a return to the ancient capital with this key that you obtained through the submarine. I forget exactly what the key was used for, but I know it was like a main story thing. It wasn't a side quest, and Bugenhagen was involved there. Whether or not they're going to change that for the next game, I'm not sure, but whatever. That's we're getting off on a tangent here. The ancient capital was so much wasted potential. And as you mentioned earlier, the audio mixing of the game was left a lot to be desired. What the hell were they thinking there? And honestly, again, you and Honeybee mostly covered the other things I disliked. Though, actually, no. I would have liked more opportunities to fight against the Turks. Because I think in the original game, there was at least 1 or 2 more fights against the Turks than there was in this Rebirth. Unless I'm remembering wrong, but I feel like they could have definitely benefited from more fights against the Turks. And honestly, I guess that's it.
Well, before I ask you what do you want to see in the next part, let me ask you something. Like, cause this is something weird to me. Not, oh, people think Aerith is still alive. No. There are people who don't want the Turks to die.
As I recall, that was all the questions, right?
Yeah, I gave Honeybee that bonus question of, what do you want to see in the next game? But before I ask you that, let me ask you something, because this one actually kind of bothers me. Bro, people are getting mad at me for saying I want the Turks to die. I don't understand that.
That was when you were going in the submarine into that sunken thing, right?
No,
that
it
was
was
one last fight against them.
No,
when you were
when you
going
return
in
to
the
Midgard,
submarine into that
canonically
that sunken
for the story
thing, right?
When you return
where you
to
could
Midgard,
have one last fight against them.
One of the ways you get in is through some giant sewer pipe, but the Turks know you're there. No explanation how they know you're there. And then they say, hey, we actually don't have to do this. We can just let you go and you can leave us alone too, as Turks. And you get the option, fight the Turks or leave them alone and walk by. I kill them every time. Like,
yeah, honestly.
People just forgot they literally genocided an entire city, essentially. Cityside, is cityside a thing?
An entire, suburb, I guess might be the way to describe the lower sections.
By dropping another one on top of it.
Yup, they basically killed two suburbs there.
Yeah, and then what blows my mind is that Reno goes on vacation after this shit happens. And the game acts like this is just the normalest shit. This is a Monday for the Turks. To be fair, that is a Monday for the Turks. My problem is that the way this game is going, especially with Advent Children, I don't think they're going to stay dead. Or rather, they don't want you to kill them now. Which
Probably
pisses
not.
me off. Like, you don't even get the option.
I would imagine they're probably going to be going with the more Advent Children view of, hey, yeah, so the Turks and Shinra, they're not entirely just only the bad guys here. They're, reforming, which, sure, you can go that route. Some might not like it, but it is a path that you can choose. I personally wouldn't mind if that's the case, but at least, acknowledge that, yeah, they did fucking genocide. Come on. What the fuck?
Like, the way Advent Children was, I thought they were implying that President Shinra and Singh, who did die originally, fucking got put into the, mount, whatever mountain that was that Sephiroth's body was at.
The Northern Crater.
Yeah. They put them in the live stream in there, and they got like healed up. But then here come Kadash and his crew, right? That's what I thought they were doing in Advent Children, but Advent Children is kind of sort of confusing in general. But now it's like, are we just supposed to ignore that shit happened? They just get off scot-free?
Yeah. As for how did they survive? Well, you have forbidden me from saying the name of that game.
They tell you in that game?
Yeah, it's that they, tell you that, Rufus escaped the Shinra building after the diamond weapon fired that huge barrage at it through an escape tunnel.
Well, I mean, yeah, but what about Seng?
I think Seng might have helped him into the escape tunnel.
No. I mean, when Sephiroth stabbed him in the chest.
Recall. Oh, and the Temple of the Ancients?
Okay. The mining cave directly after the Midgar Zormer. Sephiroth shows up in there, or a Sephiroth copy, and kills Seng. Remember? Or did Sephiroth kill him in the Temple of the Ancients?
It was the Temple of the Ancients where he got stabbed and nearly killed, but he wasn't killed. He was just very badly injured by, getting stabbed in the back. And
oh yeah, that's why he wasn't in the rest of the game. Yeah, that's why he wasn't in the rest of the game. Well, still.
Yeah, I don't think they killed him
I want
there.
the option to kill them. I just don't get why people getting mad at me. Well, looking at me, Cross, like, why do you want them to die? Did you not forget the whole entire problem with the Turks?
How they, just casually genocided people. But, I don't know, maybe it's one of those problems of, but I really like how they were portrayed in other media, so I'm gonna just casually forget that. Or maybe not other media, but the expanded material beyond just the games. Yep.
I appreciate you coming through as always. I'm not sure when this episode will come out, but whenever we do this, you're welcome to come. And man, am I gonna make sure Honeybee does a live story at some point, like legitimately.
Shit.
That was in a fucking bro. That's kind of half of the point of life stories. I mean, not really. The dude was in a cult, not is in a cult, so he learned his lesson. But
true.
My thing is like, you know how it works. I look for interesting interviews, and I look for interesting, crazy stories, or I just look for interesting stories in general, right?
Yep.
So, fucking, I feel like Honeybee, they're an untapped gold mine, which is weird because at no point in time did I say only I can tell life stories. But legitimately, if I'm counting correctly, only 4 people have ever taken up the opportunity.
Yeah.
And 2 of those people aren't even in this fucking group anymore.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Blows my mind. But yeah, we'll cross that bridge hopefully in the near future. I am going to get footage for this episode. This will be a pretty easy edit since, we don't care about spoilers. And hell, this will probably get out, maybe Saturday of C2E2 because I damn sure I'm not going to be making new content this week. And I will see you guys when I see you guys.
Later, people.